Well, we're here in Inspire Talks with Janelle and Lorena. I'm excited tonight. We have all these great people to come as a guest, and tonight we have So I'm as you can see, I'm antsy. So if you wanted to our special guest, you can see her. Her name is Erin. She's right here below us. And now take it.
Okay, so we have Erin Gales with us tonight. I've had the pleasure of working with Erin, years ago when I first moved to LA. Probably one of the first, groups when I first started dancing. I joined Flirt and worked with Erin, and we were Flirt girls for some time. And there's so many things I didn't know about her, just looking at her bio, and I'm like, gosh, I never really got to know Erin, but now I feel like I've known you just watching you blossom and grow, just like on social media with all the things you've been sharing. And Erin, basically, she's a former professional dancer. I mean, she's still a dancer, always a dancer, and she's turned fitness competitor, bikini bodybuilding competitor. She's been doing that for the last 6 years, and she's working towards her pro status, which again, we were like, what does that mean? So she will tell us about that. And she presently works for Snapchat. Guys, you guys remember that? Who still has Snapchat?
I promise it's a whole thing.
Janelle, everybody has Snapchat, just you and I.
Except for me. Yeah, exactly. We're just,
that's what it is.
We're just not that cool. And she's a technical recruiter for Snapchat. So if you're looking for a job, she's the one to kind of, talk to. And so she's also had some experience in mental health, right? And she really is an advocate for that. So welcome, Erin.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here because this is the first podcast I've ever been part of. So
I'm so excited because I love that.
Like, fingers crossed, I don't say anything dumb. That's like my biggest fear. I'm just gonna say something dumb, but it's fine. Like,
it's the candor. It's what people like real things, and I feel like in our podcast we were very back and forth, and we're very real. And yes, we do edit some things out, and we'll definitely do the things, but we're for the most part we want to be really authentic and real, so that's what we're here for.
We kind of made this because it's organic, and there's no other podcast that's live, because sometimes podcast is pre-recorded. Mm-hmm. We figured, hey, let's be on YouTube, let's be on podcasts. And at one point we were at Clubhouse too. I think it was a little too much.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So we cut one out, and we're like, you know what, let's just do, we are live on Facebook too. So if you're following us, we're streaming everywhere. So it's different. I want to make it organic. So this is more like if we were each other, at one place all together as I can't even talk.
Little chit chat.
Fireside chats.
So we're here to find out about you. I know that lovely introduction that Janelle did, but I personally don't know you, and I want to get to know you. So tell us. So you started dancing. You're from Oklahoma.
Well, I'm from Minnesota originally,
Minnesota. Okay.
But I went to college in Oklahoma. It seems kind of random that, because I was a dance performance major, and Oklahoma City University is one of the top dance schools in the country, just in Oklahoma randomly. But I was a dance performance major there. And that's actually when I was first introduced to fitness, just because it was my first time experiencing anything around, like, I don't want to throw them under the bus, but we had weigh-ins, and I had never stepped on a scale other than going to the doctor. I never looked at my weight. So after my freshman year, I came home and I told my mom, I'm afraid that I'm going to be obsessed with my weight or get an eating disorder or anything like that. And my mom was like, oh, hell no, that is not happening. So she connected me with a personal trainer. And that was the first time I ever like lifted a weight. And I was, I think, 19. And I'm still friends with that trainer. So I like owe so much to her. But that was my first experience with fitness. And I was able to maintain a pretty healthy lifestyle for the rest of my college career. And then that was always in the back of my mind, something I wanted to do. And then I moved to LA in 2010, right after I graduated college, and did all sorts of things. Janelle, I think we met in 2011 when I think that's when I joined Flirt.
I believe so. Yeah.
A decade. That
was some high time for my dance career for sure. That was definitely the prime time for me. That was prime time for, I think, all of us. Yeah. We were really like
such a
grinding.
Good group. Oh my God. It was like it's such an amazing group of women. Like, I'm so glad I had that experience, because it can be just like hard in LA in general to meet good people. And I think in any industry it's tough, but in the dance industry, it was a whole other thing. But I mean, everyone was so solid and we were just like a tight group. So I'm still friends with so many of those ladies. I love it. But
what was Flirt? Was it like a company or like a?
Yeah, we would put on our own shows, like the various kinds, just so many different kinds of shows. But then we would also, people could kind of like book us to be in other gigs, like live performances or music videos. Yeah. So we did all sorts of random things. I mean, I remember dancing in Vegas for Manny Pacquiao. Janelle, did you do that one?
I don't think I did that one. I think I did Sephora though. We did like some flash mob there at Sephora, which
we literally dressed up like we were Sephora workers and walked around and then did a flash mob.
Yeah,
that
cool. Was so
People were like, can you tell me about this lipstick? And I'm like, no. I don't know. That was fun.
I'm not supposed to be here, but I'm here. I'm not supposed to be here.
I don't know. I'm new.
Exactly. Yeah. We had so many random gigs, but it was really fun.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. But after I kind of started to wind down with the dance, I just didn't really feel like it was for me anymore. And that was kind of like the start of a lot of like mental health stuff that I kept to myself. And so in 2014, I actually went through a whole episode where I was ready to end my life and I had everything planned. And it was like, by the grace of God, that I passed out completely drunk and didn't go through with it. So from there, it's always been something I struggled with. I don't think I told anyone about that for 4 years, I think, before I ever said anything to anyone. I didn't even tell a therapist. I kept it to myself. I didn't want to be thrown in the loony bin or something. So, so I struggled with that. And that's when I found fitness fully, because I ended up getting a job working at Lululemon. And
I remember that.
Yeah. Like that's where all my money went. But that was like one of my favorite jobs ever. And most people would be like, oh, retail. But I mean, it was a company that was so supportive of your personal growth and development as well. Like I had a development plan as a human, not like where I want to grow in the company. So
did you go to Landmark? Did they send
you there? Did. Yes, I did
that too.
Wait, Lululemon send you to Landmark?
Mm-hmm. The first one.
Oh,
okay.
They
pay for that one, but you have to be with the company for a certain amount of time.
Wow.
They send you. It was so great. I learned so much. I grew an insane amount and I had amazing support. And that's when I actually found bodybuilding, because one of my coworkers had done shows before and I saw pictures and I was like, dang, you look good. Like, what is that? So she told me about it. I probably talked about doing it for like 6 months. And then one day, one of my coworkers just called me out and was like, listen, I'm really sick of hearing you talk about it. When are you going to do it? And I was like, oh, called
That's
out.
a good friend. No,
Yes,
that's a good friend.
yes.
I like the friends that call you out, but in a good way. Yeah.
In a good way, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, she was very like kind about it, but
Good. Yeah.
yeah. So
I like
that
those
night,
friends.
yeah, that night I went home and I like emailed a coach and I was like, let's do it. And it was originally just supposed to be like a, bucket list type thing. And here I am 6 years later, still doing it. But yeah.
And as long as you love it, right? You love it.
Because because it became your passion, more than dance, right? Like you transition into just bodybuilding.
Yeah. And it was a seamless transition because I still get to be on a stage.
Right.
I have like my posing routine is like choreography. I get to be in glitter. Like, what else did I want? So it was really natural for me. I mean, I've been on a stage for 30 years now. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's backtrack a little bit. So we talked a little bit about, because, I saw your Instagram story and you were talking about how this September is mental health. So we can, suicide prevention. So we can talk a little bit about, me and Janelle were talking before, because we like to, get to know the people that we're going to talk to. And we were just saying, like, as an outsider, what signs do you think, or does it just depends on anybody? Like, how can you tell somebody's going through a tough time like that? Or what do you think would have been something that you could have, like, oh, I wish somebody would have seen that I was just not doing good, or I was crying for help at that point, or you're gonna mean, because I know you got saved by, a miracle, but how can it be prevented? Like, I don't know. You understand?
Yeah, no, that's a really great question. No, it is definitely different per person, but some of the things you can pay attention to is people who kind of stop talking to you on a regular basis. Like for me personally, I just completely go into my cave and I don't talk to anyone, and I'm not like proactively trying to hang out with people. And so like a lot of things will just change. Like if you know someone well, their behaviors are just not what they usually are. So for me, like, I mean, my entire family is, no one's in LA. So my family couldn't really see what was going on. And it was so much easier to hide from them because, I mean, we didn't FaceTime often. It might be a phone call or a text, and I can easily cover whatever I was going through. But I think it's something that's really important is when you haven't talked to a friend in a while, even if you weren't really good friends, just text them and see how they're doing, because that was kind of it for me. Like I was going through a really, really bad breakup and relationship with someone who was very emotionally abusive and started to get a little physical too. And so I withdrew from every friendship, and not many people checked in. And so then you start to like tell yourself certain stories about like no one cares and blah, blah, blah. So I would have rathered someone feel like they were annoying me by continually like being like, hey, how's it going? Or at least just saying hi, because it's like a little reminder, like someone out there cares, even if they're just saying, how are you? So I think that's probably the biggest thing. And I mean, really, like when in doubt, just say hi to someone. Like maybe they're just, everything's fine and they're busy. So.
Yeah. Nowadays with this whole, social distancing and, all these things that just keeps us from people, I feel like that's missing more. You're going to mean that, like, hey, you want to come over or just hang out or have a cup of coffee or let's go eat. It's like, you don't get that anymore with your friends, because it's like, oh, how you have COVID or vaccine or blah, blah, this, so so much like that is it's pulling friendship and family apart. And you're right, maybe just reaching out to people that you haven't heard from or that seem a little weird or they're changing. Maybe contacting them. I like that. I like that advice. I'm gonna write it down.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's really good, best practice either way. Someone you haven't talked to in a while, they just pop in your head.
Right.
That's me. I do that.
Just text them, call them, even if they don't want to meet in person, do a virtual coffee, right? We have amazing technology. We can do that. It's not the same, but it's something. And so many people really struggled during the pandemic. That was for me. I got off Instagram the beginning of 2020, and then the pandemic happened. I was like, I'm not going back on there. And I ended up being off for 19 months.
How was that? How was that detox?
Oh my God, it was the best. I didn't plan on it being that long. It was honestly supposed to be a 1 month challenge from my friend. And I was like, oh yeah, 2020, new year, perfect time to take a month off. And then after 1 month, I was like, let's do 1 more month. And then COVID. And I was like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not ready. And then my anxiety just got worse and worse and worse. And I didn't want to be exposed to everyone's opinions and so much anger. Right. And so I will say though, now working remotely, I saw my coworkers every day. It was so easy to just go up to my friend's desk and be like, I'm having a shitty day. Can we go for a walk? Or
right.
Grab a coffee. Right. And so now it's weird. I'm like, do I throw time on someone's calendar and tell them I'm having a shitty day or, and it was so much easier for me to not be seen. So I will say that Snap was really good about creating a space for people to be open and honest and share whatever they're comfortable with. So I feel like I got a lot closer with my manager during that time, even though I didn't get to see her in person. And she was just so supportive of whatever I needed to do to take a mental health day. Awesome. And she constantly reminded me, you can take a day for your mental health. You don't actually have to be sick with a cold or break your leg to take a day off. It's your health still. And so she was very encouraging, and the whole company was very encouraging of doing that. So it was pretty cool to see in a tech industry where it's not focused on health and mental well-being. I think it was just a time for so many companies to show up and show what kind of culture they have and the environment that they have. Right. So that was really cool to see, and having just more of an open conversation and feeling more comfortable sharing your own story.
Yeah, so important for the culture, nowadays, for the company culture to be in alignment with your values and with what, you really want to be creating and doing, in your life. So I feel like it's so important.
Yeah. I'm lucky.
And this is a new job. So now we're moving into how did you become a technical recruiter for Snapchat? How did that?
So random.
Well, I thought that was random.
Lululemon. I'm like,
wow.
Yeah, I love Lululemon. But how did that happen? Or did that happen organically throughout the years?
It was kind of organic. It was not part of my plan. So in 2019, I worked 3 jobs at one point, while prepping for 4 competitions. And I was personal training, and I had become independent at this time. This was after being at Equinox for 2 years. And then I was a bar back for 2 nights a week. And then 5 days a week. This was when I wanted to get into a 9 to 5 and have more of a steady job. But I worked for the Honest Company, Jessica Alba's company.
Oh yeah.
But I was in customer service answering phones. And that was the hardest job of my life. So, but yeah, I was balancing 3 jobs and I might get 3 hours of sleep one night because I'd be at the bar until 3 a.m. and have to be at the Honest Company at 6:30. So it was.
And then how do you train at that time? Because aren't you supposed to have 6 hours of sleep or 7?
Yeah, at least. I mean, ideal for me is like 7 hours of sleep. And so my body just wasn't even responding well in terms of like training and prepping. So it was a nightmare, but I that's what I did to survive financially.
We've all been there. We've all been there.
Yeah. I mean, I was like, oh, I'm 30 years old and this is my first desk job. That's interesting. But my best friend he works for Snap. He's now been at Snap for, I believe, 5 years, and he's the manager of technical recruiting for the core engineering org at Snap. And he put my resume in front of my now manager and was like, listen, I know she doesn't have a technical background. She's not stupid. So please just have a conversation with her. And that's another thing that I love about Snap is they were very open to talking to someone who did not have your traditional background. So, going through that interview process, it was a lot of like, yeah, you don't know the technical side of things, but we can teach you, but you have transferable skills. So my manager, she's so smart, because she could look at my resume, look at my dance background, my fitness background, the fact that I'm a bodybuilder. Like, you could tell by my resume, I hustled at Lululemon. She was like, I know what kind of person you are. I know that you have time management skills, that you're diligent, that you're hardworking. You do what you got to do to get shit done. She's like, that transfers very well into this role. The other stuff is, we can teach you that. So I was very blessed to have an opportunity to join the company and to learn. And I did have to prove myself. I started on a contract. So this month, I actually, in like a week or so, it will be my 2-year anniversary with the company. So
congratulations.
Yeah, it's been wonderful. I've learned a lot, and I still get to help people because I get to help them find a really badass job in the company. So I still get to kind of scratch that itch a little bit, but I have like a set 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. That's good for my brain.
Yeah. And we need structure.
Yes.
As dancers. And we realize this later when we're like, oh, we're trying to be business people, or, you know what I mean? And like you said, I think you told us about entrepreneurship and how you were kind of dabbling in that. You know what I mean? And when you found out it wasn't for you in that sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Snapchat it just sounds like how you're describing it. Your boss was amazing, how she saw that and did not think, hey, no schooling, or like doesn't come from business, forget about her. It's like, no, I think a performer dancer have more dedication than anybody, but I guess because I'm a dancer, right?
Right.
I can say
biased.
but we do, it's hard what we do, and like the rejection that we go through, and especially and then competition, your bodybuilding competition, also rejection, also a lot of dedication, and some people don't have that in the business field. So she was right about that. I love it.
She's very smart.
Yeah, that's amazing that she, they gave you like that open chance, and like I'm glad that they do that, because that is very, it's not just a one-sided thing where it's just like linear, like
it shouldn't be, because I mean that's how we create a more inclusive and diverse culture, right? Like I came in with a totally different set of eyes, because if you think about other people maybe joining at the same time, they probably came, like a lot of these other people came from similar roles at other companies and things like that. They've been doing this. So a lot of people are used to their process and they're kind of already set in their ways. I came in and I was like, mold me, like do what you want, because I don't know anything.
I love that.
But like, I also came in with a completely different outlook, and I was able to recognize there's an opportunity here for us to improve this or this. And there's things that I can't talk about specifically right now, like in terms of an example, but like, yeah, there's a lot of things that I get to do now or things that I recognize because I just have a different background, and like, my brain is just, it functions a little differently.
That's awesome.
Creative brain.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
I guess
that segues into our next question that we were going to ask you. I think Lorena was going to do that too. Was, what does it take to become a bikini competitor? And again, you're aiming for pro status, and what does that mean?
Yeah, great question. So, I would say, so I've been competing now for 6 years, and probably the first 3 years I was serious. Like I took it seriously when I did shows, but I wasn't consistent. And it's really expensive to do. People knew how much it cost.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
My bikini was like $650. So,
wow.
Yeah. A bikini. Yeah.
Look at him.
Like, it doesn't even cover much of me. But it's specifically, it's made for me. Like I get to design it. Like, and like I've built a relationship with this one company. And so I get on the phone with them. I'm like, okay, I want, like, you can pick like the different connectors up here and here and here. And then like the crystals that you want on there. And then like everything is measured to your body and all of that. So there's a lot that goes into it, but yes, it's all real Swarovski crystals. Like we're used to that as dancers. But it is specially made for me, but yeah, it's not cheap. But yeah, the first 3 years, I just kind of did them when I had some money and did it for fun and like worked really hard. And then I got a new coach like near the end of 2018, just because I had like not a super great experience prior. And he like relit a fire under my ass and like made it fun. And he's also very like science-based in his approach to everything. And I was like, wow, this is made for me and my body and like my lifestyle and all of that. It's not cookie cutter. So I got really excited about it, and working with him kind of gave me like this, I could actually see me turning pro with him because of his approach and the success he has with other competitors. So to turn pro, you do need to, at an amateur show, you need to place first or second in your height class. So we're divided by height, not weight, for bikini. So first or second in your height class qualifies you for a national show. And so now you know that at this national show, you're with all these other women who also placed first or second in their height class. So it's like, kind of like the top of the top for the amateurs. And then when you do a pro qualifying show, so they kind of vary a little bit. Some of them you have to place first in your class to turn pro. Some it's first and second place. But you have like a larger pool of women. So my last national show was in July. I ended up placing 9th out of 29. So that was a win, because in 2019 I was dead last. So
hey, you're moving up.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Making moves.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So that's the goal right now. And then obviously when you turn pro, you compete with other pros, and like it's just like a higher, everyone, you look at all the women, you're like, I don't know, you all look perfect. You all look like you should be first place. But
yeah, what defines, because I know you guys compete in your walk, and what other things that they compete?
Oh my God. Everything is looked at. Like, wow. I mean, like everything, like hair, nails, the whole package, everything. Stage presence, like you could have a rockin' bod and then show up and just be dead in the face and like not have stage presence or be very stiff. So like you have a posing routine, and you have like, it's just like dance. You have to rehearse over and over to the point it's muscle memory. Because you get on stage, you black out kind of, and you're not thinking about what you're doing. So there are certain angles that work well for your body to highlight certain areas. So everyone's routine looks a little different because everyone's body is different. So you want to create a routine that, shows your best, shows the features in the best way possible. But I would say posing is probably the biggest thing. Cause you gotta know your angles.
Right. So does it feel like you're not competing essentially, that you're just competing with yourself? You know what I mean? Or do you, is that what you feel? I feel that.
I think it's the best approach, honestly. I think if you view it like, yes, you're competing against other women and you do end up competing against people on your own team. It is an individual sport, but if you are really viewing it like all the time, like I need to beat her or do better than this person or whatever, I don't think you'll really last long. You'll get discouraged because one show you might look great, and then the next weekend someone else shows up. That it's about who shows up as well. And so like, as long as you looked better than you did the last show, like I think that's what you should focus on, and like really just focus on like your own journey. Because I've won a show before, and I think I looked terrible. It's just no one else better showed up. So,
hey,
I don't know.
No,
that's my
yeah, I know.
I'm sure it was a lot of hard work. And
I'm sure it was because of you, and you did a great job, and you look great. Because I was looking at your Instagram, I was like, oh wow, like this is awesome. Like it's no joke. It's not like what you think. I guess because people think, oh, fitness, it's a whole process. Like right now, listening to you about how expensive the costumes are and the competition, because you have to enter, right? And you have to take your coach. So you have to pay for their payments and everything, right? Like you have to pay for that.
Yeah. And like, it's like, you have to get your makeup done, your spray tan, your hair, like, extension, everything.
Wow.
Like,
now with the regular job, how do you have time to balance like training? Because how many training do you have to do every day?
Yeah, what does that routine look like? We were just saying.
Like, your morning routine
different. The morning routine. So I have a little flexibility with my work hours, as long as I'm working pretty much 9 to 5-ish, but I usually start a little earlier. Hi, puppy.
Hi. Do you have a dog?
I have a cat.
Oh, yeah.
I have a cat
sleeping around here somewhere.
Yeah, I have a cat and a dog, but my cat
saw something move.
It's the zoomies at this hour. So
yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're fine. It kind of depends on where I'm at in terms of like, am I in a competition season? Am I, I'm in my improvement season right now, but I still keep my schedule the same. I get up anywhere between 2:30 and 3 a.m.
I know when you told me that, I was like,
wait. Okay. So
I thought I was bad.
What time do you sleep?
Like between 7 and 7:30.
So right now it's, wow.
It's your bedtime.
Yeah, but I wanted to be here. So like, I'm not.
Yes. Thank you. Okay. We won't keep you too long. But
No. That's seriously, I was super excited.
So you sleep now and then wake up why so early? Is there like a math to it, or?
It's more of a personal thing. Like, so about a year ago, I started training at this gym. It was the only one that was open in LA. So everyone started going there. And I was showing up normally at like 6 a.m., normal hours, normal people. And then everyone and their mom started to show up. And I was like, I'm going to come 30 minutes earlier. And I just kept pushing back the time, and more people kept showing up. And there's 2 reasons. 1, COVID. And 2, I hate a crowded gym and people in my way. So I get really anxious. Like I have really bad anxiety. And like, I don't like to chit chat while I'm at the gym. I'm there and I
saw that
focus. Shirt. Yeah. Like, it's funny how many conversations that shirt started. Actually, I have a shirt that says I didn't come here to talk. So many people stop me. They're like, I love that shirt. And I'm like,
and they're like,
why am I wearing this?
Are you reading it?
What is going on?
Obviously that would not be my shirt, because I love
so
like
funny.
I'm like dying in the class, and I'm like, did you have breakfast this morning or something? Like,
oh my God. I love it.
I think you will hate me in the gym if you were like, let me just shut up.
I'll chat with people because like those are also my people. I want to make friends and things like that. But yeah, I'm like not gonna socialize for like 20 minutes.
So 2:30 in the morning. Wow. Okay, so do you start with cardio first? What do you like? How is your routine?
I don't start with cardio because I dislike cardio and it seems kind of backwards, but I feel like I'll be so unmotivated after I do my cardio. And I feel like I'm using a lot of my energy that I could use toward my lifts because I don't do anything intense for my cardio. I walk at an incline, but I start with my lift, but I do, depending on what I'm training, I'll do warm-up movements, like priming movements to warm up that body part. And then I can I know then I've just have my cardio at the end. And that's kind of the time that I'll start to check some work emails then just to kind of clear my inbox or action on anything else I needed to do. That's usually when I'm like, okay, I need to order things from Amazon or whatever. I just get some things done. And then I know I'm done for the day. I can go home, I eat breakfast, shower, and then I just hop online kind of early. And I have like a solid 2 hours of work without anyone bothering me. So I can really focus on like responding to emails or like doing whatever task I have to do. Because then once people get online, it is like there are things firing off from like every direction and people I have to answer and can like pull me from my day-to-day work. So yeah, I get online early and just knock it out.
Yeah, because if you finish from 2:30 to 3:30, if you come home take a shower, you're done by the time you start working at 8, right?
Done with what?
Like done with all your morning routine by 8 o'clock when you start work.
Yeah. Like I will come home and have time to just like chill. I like enjoy breakfast. Like I cook it and I sit down and I enjoy my coffee and hang out. And then I get, I shower. I'm like in my workout clothes all day. Yeah. And then I just start checking my emails and like, it's a pretty smooth transition into my workday, which works best for me, but I can hop offline around like 3 or 4. As long as, all my stuff is done and people are taken care of. And then like, I actually have a nightly routine as well, where my lamps I have an app they fade out at a certain time.
That's awesome.
My phone is silenced automatically at a certain time because I need to disconnect. And that's just when I do kind of like mindless things like some laundry or the dishes or whatever it is. And then that's kind of how I just like shut my brain off before I go to bed.
I like
that's really good. Yeah, I definitely need to learn from you and do that because
it's a lot of trial and error.
Still, yeah. Like so I have to definitely unplug.
You were texting me at 11 o'clock last night, Janelle.
I know, because I was still working on the email that we were sending out to our virtual group that we teach on, online. And we have our little virtual Pilates studio. And I had a full day of work. And I was like, I'm gonna finish this email. September 1st is tomorrow. So yeah. And then you just do what you got to do. And so you stay up. You know what I mean?
I get it. I really do. This was not an easy thing for me to do. It's not like I was just like, I'm going to do this. Like this was a lot of time and practice to like get this routine locked in. And like, also I've tried different things. Like I didn't even nail it the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what works for me might not work for, you or whatever. But it was a process. It took time.
Awesome.
Now, for competing in competition, is there a specific diet that you have to go by because I know you said that right now you're not in the season or you off season, right?
So I like to call it improvement season instead of off season. Like for me, now is when I really put in the work. Like, yes, I'm working really hard during my competition season, but now I have carbs and calories to use to build muscle. And this is when you do a lot of the work. When you start like an actual prep, that's when you start to kind of like shed, lower your body fat to reveal your work. Reveal the steel is what I like to say.
Interesting.
I like that. I like that. Reveal the steel.
Yeah. So like, I'm still like, my coach has me track macros. And so macronutrients are proteins, carbs, fats, right? So he sets them for me. Again, very science-based. It's very particular to me and my needs. And, I still track everything. Well, I won't say everything. I'm like 90%. On the weekends, I'm like, I'm going to go eat whatever, and I'm not going to track it. Like, I need that for my brain. I think it's really important to have that. And so, but like when I can, like during the week, I'm very diligent, but I have fun with it as well. Like, I made ice cream bars fit into my meal plan yesterday because chocolate's great. And it helps me not go crazy. Otherwise, if I'm so strict all the time and I don't like have any flexibility, then I'll say, screw it. And I will binge eat a jar of peanut butter, So it's important to still include food that you like, that's exciting to you. So yeah, I'm tracking now, but it's just like, I get more food.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I love that. And we're big foodies. Lorena and I, we eat like almost everything, which is pretty. And I just saw a nutritionist, and we're trying to figure out like, what it is that's causing bloating. There's so many things that, Lorena just had bloating, we're all women, we all have it. And just like, what causes this, so we don't know until we start eliminating the things that
elimination.
So exactly, I'm like, okay, I eliminated coffee. I haven't drank coffee for 3 weeks, Erin. I'm like a coffee person, yeah. So I literally just cut it, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna drink tea, and my caffeine will be matcha.
You got to do it. And like, your body will, like, after cutting something for a certain amount of time and then introducing it back, your body will respond. Like, it happened to me recently with eggs. I couldn't eat eggs for like 3-4 months.
Wow.
Yeah. And then same thing. I think I had like salmonella poisoning, but like I had been eating a lot of shrimp at one point, and then I got really sick. And so I then just cut everything, and I just did a vegan diet for months straight. So it was very plant-based. And then I got an email from Whole Foods saying that they were recalling the shrimp.
The shrimp that you, bacon. Everybody's getting their dog.
Well, I can't get my cat. She'll just run away.
My friend Jenny texted me. She's like, stop getting your dogs. But look at that cute little picture.
Yeah. Well, this guy had a UTI. Dogs have things like that too, guys. He's feeling much better, as you can see. He's got more pep in his step today. So he's doing good. He's doing good. But he's an older guy, and he's doing good though. But yeah, dogs, taking care of animals is our commitment too. Like, there's your other skill.
Yeah.
Can you take care of an animal? Can it still live?
Oh, I know.
It's not like, the plants, I'm not really good at that.
Oh my God. No.
But I'm good with the dogs and the cats and the animals.
I love
it. Okay, so I know we usually have our 5, right?
Yeah, our 5 speed questions.
Kind of speed questions.
We don't want to keep you for too long.
I know we've already kept you pretty long here. But I love it because we can go on, because we're all in the same business. We're all in fitness. We love it. We love talking to fellow, personal trainers and teachers and dancers. And so you're all of the things, and we love that.
Before we have the 5, I just wanted to ask.
One more?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask why, because I know you're a personal trainer. Why do you need a coach to train you for competition? Is it something really different?
Well, the big thing is accountability. I don't care what you know, like
Right.
coaches need coaches, right? Like it's so important, because also just like for competing, for example, like I have to check in with my coach. He lives in Florida, so he doesn't see me in person. I have to send pictures and my measurements and my weights and all of that. So like he's kind of like on my shoulder all the time. I'll be like, if it were just me, I'd be like, I deserve a cookie, but I'll be like, nope, got to check in with Paul tomorrow. I can't. And he's also very honest. Like he's very kind about everything. He's very honest with me. I had texted him before a show. It was like my first one in July. And I was like, you get all weird during like your peak week of a show because you're lower usually in calories and you're super hypercritical. And I like text him. I was like, I look like shit. I was like one day out and I was like, I look like shit. And he calls me and he was like, let's talk about this. What's going on? Like, what's happening? He was like, you don't, like, you're in your head. It's okay. Like, and he talked me through it. Now, if it were just me, I would have had a complete meltdown. Yeah, I would have lost it because I was like borderline gonna lose it. And so it's important for that, I think. And then also, for me, I had a hard time as a personal trainer. Like, I don't know. I do that all day for my clients. I don't want to do it for myself.
Right.
Like I'm done.
Same.
We have the same problem, Janelle. Yeah.
Yeah. We need coaches. Yeah. Coaches need coaches, just like what you said. And that is true. And I tell my clients that too. I tell my clients, I go, I have my coaches too. And I have my set teachers that I go to, Pilates instructors that I try to seek out and try to go to. And that reminds me, I was telling Lorena about a place and we have to go to there because that's where they live. They're over there in Santa Monica, where I told her. But that's on the list.
I just wanted to ask you that because I was like, hey, people are going to ask you like, hey, why have
you coach themselves? Like, you can do it. Like, I don't want to. Like, I have a full-time job. I don't want to use my brain more than I have to be honest. Right. I also like food and like sweets, and I will tell myself, you deserve this, even if I do deserve it. Like that, you have a goal, an ultimate goal, and like giving yourself all these cheat snacks every day is not going to get you there.
Yeah, I guess like like you said, in the weekends you do eat what you want, right? You have that cheat meal, maybe not the whole cheat day. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't recommend a cheat day.
Yeah, cheat meal. Cheat meal, right? Yeah, because I mean you're gonna undo all the work that you did, like you're like,
it's just also a slippery slope because you do that one day and like your body's not gonna, like, yeah, you might be bloated the next day, but it's not like you're immediately gonna gain body fat. Right. So then what happens is you wake up, you're like, oh, I look fine. I'm gonna do it again. And then it's just
snowball.
Or it's too late.
Yeah, no, I feel you because I feel like we've all, as dancers, as fitness instructors, and we've all kind of dabbled in the the diet and doing different things and trial and error and things like that. So definitely been there too. But because you have a goal and you want to stick to that goal and you're doing it science-based and it's something that you're really reaching for and love, then, and it's healthy, you're still eating real food and really healthy. That's great. That's amazing. Awesome. Okay, so yay for our trivia questions. Let's see. What makes you feel like your best self?
So I am a Christian. So for me, it is like actually taking time in like, whether that's like listening to more worship music or being in the word or prayer, whatever it is, because it really helps me stay grounded and then I can actually show up. I'm very much like a believer of like, you can't pour from an empty cup. And so for me to fill myself back up, it is my faith. So that's something that really helps ground me and be my best self.
Very cool. Lorena,
Okay.
question?
What is 3 books that you recommend?
Oh my Lord. I have to like look at my bookshelf. What did I just read? Man, I'm like a big podcaster more than books, but
you could do 3 podcasts.
well, I go through phases. So like I love Mind Pump. Have you heard of that podcast?
Oh,
Highly recommend.
Write it down.
I'm writing it down.
Because it's like 3 guys, like the first 45 minutes, they're just talking about like, you know, what's going on in the world and things like that. And then the second half is they do like, people will submit questions, like fitness related questions, and they like talk about it. I mean, they're very entertaining. So Mind Pump. Right now I'm like studying different types of like, I'm learning more about like neurodiverse brains. So I'm like listening to different podcasts around like ADD, ADHD, autism, just so I can learn more for like my job. And then I listen, I don't know if it's technically a podcast, it's just on the podcast page, but I do listen to a lot of sermons. And then there's some like pastors that I like that might have their own podcasts. So very random.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
You have to have like diversity, I think, like some kind of balance.
Yeah.
And do you listen to them while you work out?
Usually I'll do that during my cardio, or like sometimes I do that as my wind down during the day as well. Because I can put my phone in the other room and pop my AirPods in and go do things. So yeah, it's usually when I'm doing something kind of mindless.
Like that.
I love that.
No.
All right, it's my turn. What is your favorite food?
Oh God, that's hard. Oh my gosh. I am like a big burger and fries kind of gal. Like that's kind of like when I get a cheap meal, that's what I love. Like
salivating right now.
Oh my God. Otherwise, like in terms of sweets, donuts.
Donuts?
All day.
Wow. What kind of donuts? Is it specific or is any donut? Like
I am open to all donuts. I don't discriminate here.
No, but like, you know how donuts became more fancy? They were like very simple, and then they just became like $7 or $8 each. You're like,
I know. And there's like 18 cereals on it. And you're like, okay, well, do I need this? It weighs 4 pounds. But I mean, I'm fine with a classic glaze. Take it.
Same. Yeah. Something light and airy. And yes, I love it. Okay. Lorena.
Okay. If you had, okay, I love this question. If you have 3 people that you would invite to a dinner or lunch or whatever, live or
living or dead.
Living or dead. There you go. Thank you, Janelle. Who would it be? Who would the 3 people will be?
Oh my gosh. That's so, I would have to say Jesus is one of them.
Just to ask him questions and
yeah. Oh my gosh, this is so hard. Who else would I want? I feel like a lot of it's going to be like faith-based for me. I would definitely, and he's alive, my pastor, he's just like so smart, and has like such a different, like great views on things and like religion and the world. And then the third one, God, I feel like I would want, oh man. I would have to say Prince. Like, hey. I love Prince. I'm from Minnesota. I have a dear friend that, she's from my old church that worked for Prince. And so like, I've just heard nothing but great things about him. And I think that would be fun to chat with him.
That would be an interesting dinner table.
Definitely.
Explains a lot about my personality.
Awesome. And you know, I've been to Minnesota and we were looking for the museum, they have a Prince museum, or his house, right? His house is like, but we never found it. Well, we only had one day to like go adventure, but
yeah, I don't even know where I think it's on Lake Minnetonka. I could be wrong.
yeah, by the university or something like that. No,
I think he had a couple. I honestly really don't know where it is.
Yeah, didn't know either.
Yeah,
but the university had a really nice exhibit about like his art and his stuff. So I was like, this will do.
Yeah,
I totally would go there.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever really been to Minnesota, but I did sit next to like a passenger on a plane, and I heard all the the accent, and I was like, yes, Minnesota. You're
glad mine's gone.
You still have a little bit. I heard it a little bit when you said do. but I'm also an ESL instructor, and I have the ear for these things, and so I'm not purposely looking for it, but I do hear, you know what I mean, like my ears are just trained for language, and language accents.
I try to hide it. I think it's famous.
Yeah. But I love it when it comes out, because I'm like, oh, there she is from her hometown. I'm sure you go back and you're like, does it come back? Like, do you just go fall into it?
A little bit, yes. And then like I don't drink anymore, but when I would drink, it was just like, you're like, who is this person? Like, just not cute at all.
Yeah, not. Okay, so what is the best compliment you have ever received?
I had this is when I started at Equinox, and I was very shy. Again, I was like very new in the fitness industry and had a lot of imposter syndrome. And I'm trying so hard to like impress my coworkers who've been there for a long time and whatever. And, I was hoping someone would be like, oh, that workout was really cool that you taught that person, or you look great in shape and blah, blah, blah. And then there was one trainer that I looked up to, because he was like always just like such a spitfire, and I had client after client after client, and I was very intimidated by him. And he and I ended up like standing outside of our manager's office, like waiting to chat with her. And so we were just kind of small talk. And then it came up that I'm a believer and I went to church, and he was like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. Like I could, like, you literally walk into a room and you light up the room. And he's like, and now I know why. And I was like, oh my God, like it's so much better than a compliment about my body, or like, what I'm training people on and things like that. Like, I would rather someone, be, like, remember me by like how I made them feel or how I impacted them in that way. Versus like, she just have really nice glutes,
Right. Yeah. No, I've gotten that where people, because I have such a big booty, and like, yes, I'm blessed with that. Great. But you know what I mean? Like, that's not all there is.
It'll disappear. It'll sag.
No. Not if I can help it, right? I'll talk to Erin. I'm gonna call Erin and be like, Erin, help me with this booty, it's sagging. I'm gonna hit her up for sure. Awesome, Erin. Anything else, Lorena?
No, it was great.
Our time. We went a little bit over, but yeah, I know we went a little bit over, but we did start a little later, but that's okay.
So fun.
I love it. And we had so much fun talking with you and learning, gosh, so much more about who you are. And of course, I feel like no matter who we talk to, or you never really truly know someone, because you know what I mean? Yeah. Only you know what you're capable of, and and just know that we're here and we support you and love you, and we're so happy that you came on today.
Oh, this was fun. Thank you so much. Like, best first experience on a podcast.
Yay!
And you did great.
Oh, thanks.
You're amazing. So yeah, check her out. We're gonna put all the links. Erin Gales at Erin Gales, right? So is there
for my Instagram?
Instagram.
It's at eGales. So it looks like I don't know how to spell Eagles. You won't believe the amount of people that tag me and like they want the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, geez. At E Gales, Gales.
And I'm laughing because at first, for a glance, when I looked at it, I was like, "Oh, is this Eagles? Was she an Eagle dancer?"
That's my nickname too. People just call me Eagles.
For real?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
So I'll respond to that. You can call me that.
Well, they're very bold and just like you. So very, awesome. Yay. Thank you, Erin.
Thank you, ladies.
Good night, everyone.
Bye. Thank you. Good night.
Bye.